I would be in a district that is primarily new voters, but I am on a border. I look from my home and see Representative Seixas' district currently in three different directions. It's the state of Wisconsin on the fourth side, so it's not unusual to see the lines change around, and these are preliminary maps. We saw a lot of changes made last cycle 10 years ago from the preliminary map to the final map. So I think I'll withhold judgment until we see the final product.
So what did change for you in these preliminary maps?
Well, most of the population that I've represented for 18 years is in a map that I don't live in. So I don't know yet, again, whether changes will be made to allow me to run in the district that I'm most familiar with. We simply don't know. But it looked like changes not based on population but on political needs in Rockford. Representative Chuck Jefferson to the south of me took a lot of my district. He needed about, I think, 5,000 people, but took a large chunk of my district. And you know, that it's a political map drawn by one party. We'll react to it, and people will decide over the next several months, really, you know, how they'll look at the map and what decision they'll make ultimately in their career.
Can you explain to people why it's a political map, why you might have gotten drawn out?
Well, the majority party, in this case the Democrats, control the process. They don't need Republican votes to pass this before the end of May. And they have as their primary objective is to continue power for the next 10 years. They want to ensure that they have a majority. So they will map certain districts to be heavily Republican and then many more districts to lean towards the Democratic Party, giving them the ability to control the agenda in Springfield, to have the power of the speakership.
And for you, what does that translate?
Well, it means that I'm not a member of the Democratic Party, and how my district looks makes no difference to them. You know, I'm simply one person. I don't have the right to a district that I have represented in the past, but you know, it's unfortunate. I enjoy representing the community that I'm in, and we'll certainly see what happens when the map is ultimately finished.
Are you disappointed at all?
Not yet, because again, it's so preliminary that 10 years ago, the initial map showed me in a district that very, almost the same as this, where 85% would have been new. With a revision in the map, most of my old district was in the second map 10 years ago. So that's why I'm withholding judgment until I see if there are tweaks made, if there are changes in the lines. It could completely change overnight.
But if it was to go as is, would you, first, do you expect that to go as is?
I can't predict, you know, I'm not a member of the Democratic Party, and they have been involved in the map making. Their individual members have been asked, what population areas would you like, where would you like your lines drawn? Republican members were not afforded any information on the map until it was published this morning. And we have no idea who's going to be running for the Senate. Senators may retire. There may be open seats. It may open slots. It's premature to make any kind of decisions based on incomplete knowledge.
If this map was to go forward, how would it impact your future elections?
I have no idea. Again, as I said, it depends on if Senator Severson runs in. I think he can run in 3 different districts. So that's not determined yet, and there'll be a lot of discussions over the next few months. You know, there's not going to be any instant snap judgment. So it depends on how the other players react. It's a gigantic chess game.
Can you talk about the Senate's map and what was affected there in terms of your senator?
In the Rockford area, Senator Severson had lived close to the edge of his current district, which represents Rockford, McChesney Park, Lowe's Park, Rockton, and Roscoe. The line was shifted so that he now lives in a district that is primarily Boone County, and DeKalb County, I believe, goes into Kane County, and a small portion of Winnebago County. Now, if he chooses to move, as he did 10 years ago, he could continue to represent Rockford. And I think very bitter campaign last year. I don't know if Dave wants to continue to represent Rockford or if he wants to not move, and that's a decision that he and his family have to make. So
What's your reaction to having your senator being, I guess, kind of like slighted like that?
Well, again, I'm in that district. If Dave chooses to run in that district, that's the district that the current map shows me in also. So I wouldn't actually change senators. But again, it's too early to tell whether Dave will run, in which district he'll choose to run in. And again, the district lines can change overnight.